What's up guys, how are you all doing today? I want to bring you guys something very special, and with the release of Anime Vanguards' 7.0 update, I know a lot of you guys are actually returning back to the game. Maybe you haven't played a long time, you took a break, or maybe this is just your first time trying out the game. Whatever the reason might be, I made this guide for you guys today. Something I do a lot on this channel is I make beginner guides for a lot of the new games that actually happen to come out, and coincidentally, one of my main games on this channel that helped make this channel, I just never did a beginner guide. So with all of that being said, strap in guys, because this is going to be a big video. If you guys enjoy, make sure you like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. We're going surprisingly fast. We're growing very, very fast. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. And then after that, we're onwards and upwards to 5,000. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Let's jump into today's video. So everyone, welcome to Anime Vanguards. This is going to be the first thing you're obviously going to see when you load in. First thing you should always do with these types of games is open up the codes on the right. It's this little sign right here and enter all the codes. I'm going to have the wiki for the game down in the description. So if you guys need the codes or you want to look up certain units, whatever it may be, make sure you go and check out that wiki. I'm recording this right before the Attack on Titan update comes out, so there's actually going to be new codes as the recordings and probably some new mechanics too. So you've entered your codes, you run straight forward, and you're going to see this little tower right in the middle. It says plus group rewards. All you gotta do for this is literally just join the group that's right under the game, and then run up to this, boom, you get a bunch of gems, rerolls, whatever. So with everything you've accumulated from your gems, like rewards, codes, whatever, you're going to run straight forward into this blue area that says summon. Little tidbit too, you see these little symbols right here that's above every single area. You see upgrades, trophies, challenges, PvP. If you click on them, it actually teleports you to them. So that is something you guys should keep in mind. Once you guys have gotten your gems, you need to run over to Hercule right here and start summoning. So Spring Banner is an event banner. You guys do not need to worry about this at all, especially if you're just beginning. Selection banner is actually almost the same as the special banner, but you get to click the unit in the middle and you can choose any unit you want in the game to go summon for, so that is really useful. Let's just say your favorite character is Soul Bad Guy, right? You just click on Soul Bad Guy. It says, are you sure you want to select this character as featured? You can only change it every 24 hours. You press yes, and boom, Soul Bad Guy is straight drop in the middle. But if you don't really care about that, jump over to special. This changes literally every hour. It will always have different characters in it. If you want to know what characters are in it, if you press index in the bottom left, you can see all the mythics that you can pull off banner, all the legendaries, epics, rares, and obviously the secret Alucard. Quickly, units I guess I suggest for you guys to grab if this is your first time playing. Ichigo is really good, Saber is really good, Uryu is pretty good, Goku's really good, and Bridget are really good. Obviously, there's a lot of other good characters on there, but those are the ones that I suggest. I think they can literally carry you through everything in the game, so keep an eye out for those guys. Now, you're going to walk out of Summon, and the first thing you're going to see are these two. You're going to see Normalize and Unit Index. Run over to Normalize. It's very simple. Whenever you pull a shiny variant of a character like these guys right here, you can do something called Normalize them, where it strips them of their shiny, but you get 5 rerolls every time you do it. So if you're pulling shinies of legendaries and stuff, or epics, just strip them of their shiny guys. Next over here is Unit Index. Every time you pull a character, run over to this and press Claim All. You get gems per slot filled. So let's just say you pulled a bunch of characters you didn't have, right? Press Claim All and you'll get all of your stuff and all your gems. On the right here as well, keep an eye out for milestones. You press this. Per rare unit, epic, legendary, mythic, and exclusive, and secret, and vanguard unit you get, you actually unlock more stuff in the collection milestones. So it's basically just gems, and then down here it's coins for some reason, and there you go. Now next is going to be the shop. So assuming a lot of you guys want guidance of what game passes you should end up buying, VIP, in my opinion, is 100% worth it. It is one of the best VIPs I've ever seen for a tower defense game. You get 20% off summons. You get the rainbow name tag just like normal, 2 times AFK chamber gems, and then you get 10% XP joined, which is very good in this game because XP is very crucial. And this is player XP, by the way. That's what it's talking about. These other ones, like Shiny Hunter's not really needed. It's a little overpriced, but hey, if you want it, go get it. Display all units. It'll just show your whole team walking around you. extra unit storage if you need more storage, which I don't suggest you buy it because you can just buy more with gold. And then premium battle pass. I picked this up personally. You don't have to pick it up. It just gives you more rerolls from your battle pass, and it gives you shiny variants of the battle pass characters. But speaking of that, let's look at battle pass. So the more you guys play the game and do your quests, you actually are going to unlock tiers in the battle pass like this. You can see you get gems, gold, trait rerolls. It's mainly just those 3 things strung out through the battle pass, but you'll see on the tier 25 of the battle pass, you'll get an exclusive unit and a shiny variation of that exclusive unit on tier 25 and tier 50. So keep an eye out for that. There's going to be a new battle pass with 7.0. I believe it's Tohu themed, so keep an eye out for that. Jumping over next though, we have quests. These are something you guys should be doing if you're a new player, especially if you're someone who doesn't macro as well. These are going to be very useful for you guys. So obviously you have your dailies. These are challenges that reset daily. You get your battle pass XP and you get gems. You have your weeklies. These reset weeklies. You get, obviously, as you can see, trait rerolls, gems, gold, and these also give you battle pass XP. You have infinite, which you guys don't really have to go out of your way to do, but if you really want to, you can. Just get to wave 50 on whatever map it tells you to, and you get gems and a reroll. And then special over here is if you have a character like Aizen or Gilgamesh that have a special means of obtainment. So next thing over here that you're going to see is when you run out of play, you're going to see the gold shop to the right. We'll just quickly cover this. If you guys are missing resources, you need these essence stones for evolving your characters, you need stat chips for rerolling stats, or even you need XP food for your characters, buy them here. Buy them with the gold you get from summoning. Make sure you auto sell your units. Alright, so with the rerolls that you've got from codes and stuff, run over here to upgrades to the purple area right next to the gold shop. You're going to run in here and you're going to see a lot of things you might be a little confused about. So right here in the middle, this is how you reroll traits. You can see right here, there's a bunch of different traits. There's Monarch, Ethereal, Deadeye, Solar, and Blitz. Those are mainly the best traits in the game. You have Corruption, which you guys don't really have to worry about. This is an end game feature that not a lot of people really use, if you want me to be honest, so don't really worry about this, guys. You have Ascensions over here, which essentially this is if you pull a dupe of your character off the banner. So let's just say my Gohan, right? Guess I can't check him out. Let's just say my Hercule right here. So you can see I have another dupe of Hercule and I have 6 of these champion belts. I can feed those in and look at, I get 3% damage, 5% range, and then 7% damage. That means your unit would overall get a 10% damage increase. So if you pull Monarch on like a banner unit, make sure you guys do this. It is very worth it. But majority of the time, you don't really have to worry about this. You don't have to deal with it. So over here we have Evolve. This is just for evolving your units. This is pretty straightforward. Crafting, synthesis, and dismantle. If you need an item here, you can craft. If you need essence stones here, you can craft. Lucky potion, you can craft. Synthesis, if you need an Evo item, right over here, let's just say I have a lot of these, which you get from doing different stories and legend stages. Let's just say I have a bunch of these teddy bears that I don't want, right? You can press any of these items and you can turn those teddy bears into these items. So it is very nice. And then dismantle is if you just have an excess amount of rainbows, right, and you really need greens, you can dismantle them into greens. So pretty straightforward. And then stat reroll and transfer. Unlike anime adventures, stat rerolling in this game is actually very good. And you can see stat rerolling, stat index. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different stats that you can roll onto a character. So godly being the absolute best. Look at these. These are almost perfect amount of stats. Z plus being also extremely good. Z being good, S being eh, B being bad, C being bad, D being dead. So you basically want to roll a good stat on your character. Let's take my Aladdin here, right? You can see he has a Z plus, and you can see he has a B and a C. If I go to evolutions right over here, and I type Aladdin in, you pick him, you can see that B goes from an A, and a C goes to a B. The only thing that doesn't go up is a Z plus. Z pluses can't go up to godlies. So if you evolve your characters, your stats are going to go up. You just can't go into godlies. You have to hard roll those. So sorry about that. And stat transferring, by the way, in this game is free. The only bad thing about it is when you do it, it will take all the stats off that character that you transferred from, and it will take their trait away. It doesn't delete them, but it just basically clean slates them. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you guys is super useful as well. This is something you should be doing basically every day, is challenges. So challenges in this game are very different from a lot of other games because they're actually very amazing. So if you run over here into the play area, you press create matches, and you have 3 sections. You have weekly, daily, and regular. So weeklies, you got to do these guys. You can basically solo them, and if you can't, you can find other people looking for them with the in-game matchmaking feature, but these are great. They give you so many resources. Obviously, I can't scroll through here because it just won't let me, but look at the amount of stuff you're getting already. You get a lot of things. Then we have dailies. These are very worth it. You get 3, and on the weekends, you get 6 per day, which is great. And then regular challenges. You can grind these regular challenges every 30 minutes. They reset every 30 minutes, so you can get a trait reroll every 30 minutes. I believe it caps out at like or something. You can't just like sit here and farm it forever, but hey, you have a consistent way of farming trait rerolls if you really need them. Before we run into play or anything like that, I'm just going to show you guys the UI really fast and every button that's here. So profile, obviously, this is just here so you can look at your profile. You can get different titles, you can get different profile cards, and you can also view the leaderboards to see if you're on them or not. Next we have is the mailbox. This is a feature that doesn't really get used that much, but you can check mail when they do it. It's basically the equivalent to codes. When they don't want to do a code, they'll just mailbox you the update log and then give you some gems. We looked at quests already, we looked at codes, we looked at Battlepass. We have daily rewards, obviously just log in daily, you get gems. Achievements, so each map actually happens to have their own set of achievements. So let's just say right here on Namek, it says clear Act 1 through 6 on Nightmare difficulty, and if you hover over the skip box, you can see the rewards you get. So you get a mount, you get trait rerolls, a dance, and gems. Each thing gives different rewards, so make sure you guys are doing these. Like that one you just saw, you're getting a title. There's also unit achievements. So what these are is you basically, instead of doing a map and trying to do everything there is possible with that map, you actually get rewards for using your character. So let's just say your favorite character you'd love to use is Vegito. If you click on Vegito's quest, you'll see everything you have to do, and you can also see right here, get 20 rerolls, 10,000 gems, which is a lot, and then 5 stat chips. Yeah, I believe also if you just look at your character like this, you can see all the achievements right here on the left. So if you don't want to look through your achievements, they're there. Next, we have summon, takes you to summon areas. You can teleport around the map. Items, obviously your inventory. Play, which you can see it just takes you to one of the 3 game modes. Store, which we already looked at. There's game passes and stuff like that in here. And then your units. Let me say this, I know I'm kind of late in the video, but there's gonna be things I missed, so because I'm covering basically everything in the lobby, so if I miss something, sorry guys, I don't know what you want me to do about it. Over here we have Odyssey. We'll cover this very fast. Odyssey is kind of a weird-ish game mode. I don't suggest playing it if you're new, but Odyssey is very similar to Dungeons from Anime Adventures, where it's this game mode that gives you these shards, which are for familiars, and it also gives you some decent amount of rerolls. Basically, you just load in with random units, and you get more modifiers the more you play. It's okay. It's an okay game mode. It is the best, I'm pretty sure, for gem farming though. So if you're really poor in gems or you AFK in this game, there you go. Next, up here, we're going to teleport up to trophies. You can see the leaderboard for everything in the game. And you may be asking, okay, heck are these characters? These characters actually aren't characters, they're skins. This game used to do characters through leaderboards, and then they realized how useless that is, so they just switched over to skins. So this is the trophy shop. This isn't really used that much, if you want me to be honest, but you see some of the characters on the left and right that were exclusive, but if you walk over to Fubiki, you can see you have your trophies here, and you can just buy emotes mainly. I don't know if they'll ever use this again, but yeah, you get trophies from doing PvP, you get them from doing boss rush, so yeah. Over to here, we have guilds, obviously not being used yet, so we're going to ignore that. And then we have PvP. This is also something you should not be doing if you're early game. This is not like astd, where they give you preset units, so this will literally use the units in your inventory. If you run over to matchmaking though, you see there's 3 difficulties. There's Assault, which is just normal PvP. There's Defense, which is see how long you can last in PvP. And then we have Ranked, which if you're going to play PvP, just play Ranked. Like, no point in playing anything else. You can see ranks here in the bottom right. You can look at all the ELO right here. Different ones. They're still doing that tournament, so if you guys are interested in that, they're doing like a 10 million Robux tournament or something like that, so it's a ridiculous number. We have leaderboards over here, which they're obviously not loading. And then we have the shop, which by playing PvP, you're going to get these coins in the bottom left. You can buy stuff in the shop. There's bikes, There's trait rerolls, there's essences, basically everything you're gonna need. So that's PvP. So moving from there, I'm actually not gonna show you these two real quick, and I'm going to show you play. So you're gonna see a lot of things outside and inside of play. So right here next to play, you're gonna see Gilgamesh. Right here is the command seal shop, which you can get these just by playing story. They're in the Fate story map. And then his other option, which is the real reason you're even gonna come here, is level milestones. So for every 5 levels you get, you're gonna get different rewards. So I'm at 134, I believe right now. Next level, I get 4,300 gems, 5 rerolls, and then 4,000 gold. Next though, I get 19 trait rerolls. So you can see, this is literally just to reward you for playing. Very nice, every game should have it. We have AFK chamber over there, no explaining needs to be done for that really. You run into the play area over here. You can see there's a lot of pods, a little too many, but hey, it is what it is. And before we jump into any of the play stuff, you can see enemy index and boss bounties. So over here, enemy index, basically when you play a map, you have a chance of an index being dropped. So it says normal enemies have a 1% chance and bosses have a 3% chance for indexes to be dropped. And why indexes matter is, one, you could just look at the characters, which is really cool, and you could look at what they do. But the real cool thing about this is down here, you can press claim all, and you can press milestones. So basically for killing everything and giving all their milestones, you get 20 rerolls per map. So if you're, like I said, bored, you don't have anything to do on the game, go hunt these, man. It's free 20 trait rerolls just waiting for you. Next though, we have boss bounties. You can only do 10 of these a day, but you can see it just takes you straight to a boss in the story, and you get 500 gems and 1 trait reroll. You can do 10 a day, and it is affected by 2 times. So on the weekends, you're going to be getting 20 instead of 10, which is really nice. Over here, we have the spring shop. This is for the spring event. You guys can really ignore this. If you're new or beginning, you're not going to do this, and this is probably going to leave soon if we're being real anyways. So there isn't really much use for that there. But finally, we jump into play. You can see right here, we have all the stories. You don't have to do these in order. You can skip around. Like if you really love Guilty Gear, or you have a Guilty Gear character that you need to evolve, boom, go play all this story, and then you can unlock the legend stages. You don't really do this in order, which is super great. You also unlock sandbox for each mode, which is just a game mode that you can screw around in. You can place any unit with any trait, any level, whatever you want to do in it. You also have a matchmaking button in the bottom right, so if you're struggling to find people, press that and see if you can find anyone. But down here at the bottom, you can see story and legend stages. We jump over legend stages, and this is basically where you're going to find the evo items for all of your characters. Some maps have special things, like you can see these drop command seals. You can see these drop Yamamoto right here. This drops the familiars with a chance for the boot portal to spawn, and this drops the item you need to get Baiken. So there's a lot of things you can do over here. That's basically all I have in the play area though, so let's jump over to the next area. So the next 2 things I want to show you are actually right in the middle. Right here we have Worldlines, which this is very similar to Infinity Castle from Anime Adventures, if you guys ever played that, where it is, instead of 100 floors, it is 50 floors, and obviously nothing's loading here. Oh, there we go. Now it's loading, but you can see there's leaderboards for it. It goes to 50 floors. Each floor has a different modifier right here, so like some elements get buffed, or you just can't use some elements at all. So keep an eye out for that. The real reason you'd be even doing this in the first place is rewards. So if you press this, you can see the rewards. This resets every 0.5 update, so you have nothing to worry about for this Attack on Titan update, but the next one it will reset. So you get 250 gems. You can see you're getting different stuff for each floor. You get 5 rerolls from floor 10, 10 from floor 20, 15 from floor 30, and then 20 from floor 40. So that's actually 50 in total. And at the bottom, you guys can see a very special unit. At floor 50, we have Invincible and Conquest. So if you guys really want those, which they're super cool units and they're very, very strong, make sure you go do Worldlines. It is pretty difficult, so if you're a beginner, I would be careful. It is not a super easy game mode. Next over here, we have tournaments. This is also very similar to Anime Adventures tournaments, but how this works is how they made it different is there's a bunch of different mutators and modifiers. Similar to Anime Adventures, right? The elements get buffed and nerfed, but units get banned and units get buffed. So if you have Jonathan, for example, Johnny, and he's just floating around your box, you don't really use them, and then boom, tournament comes out that Johnny is 500% buffed in. Now you got a reason to use him. Now you got a reason to do tournaments. Tournaments, you get very good rewards from. You get skins, you get rerolls. very easy. There's 2 different tournaments as well. There is traits enabled, which is the one right here, and then traits disabled, which you can see you get different awards, which is right here. These are their own separate tournaments, so if you're going to be one of those guys doing tournaments, do both of these. Now we're getting to the end, guys. I know this is kind of just like a blast of information, but this game really does have a lot, and probably more next update. But you can see at the top of your screen, global event Rift spawns in 1 hour and 46 minutes. So basically what that means is there is a shop right over here. Obviously we got the goat from Steins Gate. You talk to her and it opens this shop. So there are 2 current Rift units in the game. There is Yuhababa and there is Astolfo. And once this timer ticks to 0, every single lobby that has this timer hit 0, right up there where my cursor is on both sides and also on this side as well, a rift will spawn and is basically kind of a game mode. They're pretty easy at this point, but you have a chance, I believe it's 1%, it might be 3% actually, where you have a character to drop from them. Super great. And then you have the rift shop over here. Let's just say you missed the rift and you're upset about it, right? Rifts give you enough currency to where you can buy this thing called a temporal rift. And what a temporal rift is it can manually spawn a rift. So if you missed, let's just say whatever the last hour was, right? You can spawn a temporal rift, do it, and then just wait for the next one. You can only do 1 per reset as well. And then the vow stone, which is this super expensive 500 rift stone thing, is when you get this item, when you get the vow stone, it gives you a 100% chance to get the drop rate for Astolfo or Yuhababa. Then we have some familiars over here. Trait rerolls, stat chips, familiars, just everything you need. With the emotes shop, which, sorry, excuse me, this isn't really a shop, but this is where you equipped your emotes. Now jumping over to the final 2 things that I want to show you guys for this beginner guide, and then I'll let you guys go all on your own, is boss events and dungeons and raids. I guess technically 3, but over here you're gonna see Gojo, it says curse shop and boss events. So if you click on this, you're gonna see a boss event has spawned. Basically what boss events are is they're just a super big hard event. I wouldn't say a boss rush, but they're very similar to a boss rush, where you have to fight hordes of enemies with an occasional boss thrown in. You can see at the bottom there's a timer, and if you're wondering what that timer is there's actually 2 other boss rushes. Maybe with the next update there might even be another one with the Attack on Titan update. There probably will be, who knows, but they cycle through. And why these are very important, if you're an endgame player, these are very, very important for you to do, because if you go over here to where there's a little shop icon, you click on it, and then boom, it opens up a shop. You can get 40 rerolls per boss event, and those refresh. So that means per week minimum, you are getting 40% from a boss event every time it cycles in and out, which is super great. Legacy coins are just something you're just going to pick up while playing these, and you can buy any of these 4 things. Curse shop is something you can use your fingers on from story mode. And that's basically all the boss events. All the boss events have their own gimmick that makes them special. You have to do special things in them, so keep your eyes out for that. Next over here though, we have raids and dungeons. This is the final thing I'm going to be showing you guys today. Good job for making it through this video, because this is going to be a nightmare for me to edit, and also a very long thing for you guys to watch. So thank you for making it this far. But if you guys made it this far, make sure you guys comment W, video, whatever you want to say. We have Ren Goku over here with the raid shop. Now, you can see you have 3 raid shops, and the reason you have 3 is because if you run over to the right side over here, you have 3 raids. Now, there is practically no point to doing the Spider Force and Tracks the Edge of Heaven unless you just need Evo items for your JoJo characters and Demon Slayer characters. There's no point in doing these. These guys lost the exclusive unit they had, but over here, you can see the Ruined City still has Sid. There's 2 difficulties, Act 1, which is pretty easy. You can solo it probably, and then Act 2, which is you cannot solo. You're gonna need friends for. And it also has this thing called a bird, which this is the best familiar, hands down, basically for every character in the game. Make sure you guys try and get the bird, and it is so worth it. But yeah, the whole point of doing these raid shops is they have rerolls in them. They have these, which give you a higher drop rate for your raid units. They have your Evo items in there, more rerolls, and then more rerolls, your Evo items, stuff like that. Black Spear is also another familiar that is very broken. Over here though, you can see there's these 2 purple pods, and then you can see Sun Jin Woo that says Dungeon Shop. Now dungeons are basically raids, but they're even harder. And dungeons, you can see in the shop here, you have a familiar, you have a key, you have an evolution item, you have a mount, you have rerolls, gold, stat chips, essences. So if you run over here into one of these corners, you can see that you have a game mode called Ant Island. So all you have to do is get to wave 30. It is not infinite. I don't know why it says that. You have a red key, which was originally used to get a secret character, which you can no longer get anymore. The whole point you basically do this dungeon over here is if you're trying to get this guy right here, Vanguard Sun Jinwoo. He is really all these Vanguards play these super cool like animation when you view them and when you pull them. Yeah, Sun Jinwoo, super. This is the whole reason you'd even do dungeons. He is worth it, guys, trust me. And that's about everything I have for you guys in today's beginner guide. I know that was a lot. I know that was rapid fire. There was just a lot of things. It's probably gonna be like a minute video or something like that, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made your way all throughout the video, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, comment, do everything you need to do. Like I said, thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.